Well, alright guys and dolls, I'm back. And I am doing my second movie review, which is going to be 28 Days Later. And what a movie this is. I have pretty much nothing bad to say about this movie. Solid, almost completely throughout. So I'm going to do the same system before, pros and cons, but definitely more pros than cons this time around. So let's not waste any time and get right into it with the pros. The number one standout for me, hands down, is the cinematography. There are shots in this movie that are breathtaking, just stunning. At the opening of the movie, where Jim, who's played by Cillian Murphy, realizes what's happened, and he's walking through London in empty streets, and it's almost a barren wasteland. It's just eerie, jarring, great work. And it continues like that throughout the whole movie. Even in the tight, close shots, where you're supposed to have the intense, closed-in, claustrophobic kind of atmosphere, even those shots are pulled off skillfully, masterfully. It's just visually a gorgeous film throughout. Pro number two for me would have to be the characters in the film, the protagonists. Anyway, throughout the course of the movie, you really feel for these characters and really invest in their well-being. There's a father and daughter pair who we meet kind of early on, and they are, for me, the most endearing characters in the movie. Their relationship really felt real, given the circumstances. So 28 Days Later starts off with a bang, and once it gets going, it really doesn't let up, and that's going to be pro number three for me, is the intensity of the movie. Even when, the zombies, for lack of a better word, aren't on screen, you still kind of feel their presence. They are a constant throughout. You know they're gonna be around somewhere, so you're always on edge. Even during the lighthearted moments where the characters are kind of carefree, that ominous, doom-like sense is ever present. And I really enjoyed that. It never let up or broke that sense of impending danger. Sticking with the theme of intensity, this movie is also quite violent. That being said, it's not an overtly gory movie. There's lots of blood, and there's lots of violence, but there's no, you don't see guts everywhere and stuff like in a Night of the Living Dead style movie, but it's still there, and it all works. So if you are the slightest bit squeamish, I wouldn't recommend it, unless you are a glutton for punishment. But for me, okay, so I don't want to gush over the movie like a child, so I'm gonna get to my con. And it's only one con, but it's a fairly big one, and it is the kind of final act of the movie, the last half hour or so. It just really changes direction and goes off in a way that really kind of didn't fit with the rest of the movie. Which is a shame, because they introduced Christopher Eccleston? Anyway, they introduce him as a military commander or captain or something, and the movie switches tone from a surviving this horrible, zombie creating infection to, okay, now we have to survive these army guys. And I don't know, it just didn't work for me, and it sucks because I really, really like that actor. So it's a shame to see this movie sort of derail and go off in a direction that it really didn't have to go in, and lose the steam that it had been building for the first 60 minutes. But with that being said, the last act is still very intense and full of action. It just wasn't the same. It was too different from the rest of it to really feel like it had its place in the movie. Alright, so that's it. Pros and cons are done. So overall, I'm going to have to say 9 out of 10. It's an amazing movie, so if you haven't seen it, I suggest you go right now and go watch it. Alright, well that's it for me. 28 Days Later is done. Next up, we're going to do the sequel, 28 Weeks Later. See you later.